Hey everyone, Milo here for the Fellowship of Acoustics. Welcome back to the channel. It's another Friday, so it's time for another new arrivals. And as always, we're going through the store. We're going to find our 4 favorite new entries to our store. There are a lot of guitars here in the marketing department. You see a completely filled rack. There's a photo studio filled with guitars. I already did a little sneak peek before shooting and I saw some really interesting guitars. So I think it's shaping up to be a really nice episode. And you can leave your favorite of the week down below. You can leave a comment or also vote in the poll, and that's in the community side of our YouTube page. Last week Wessel did the presenting and it was an incredible Sudden Jumbo, 1946 if I'm not mistaken. And that one was the winner. And yeah, I'm really excited to see which is the winner of this week. And I think we're going to start with Gibson Acoustics. Just a heads up, this will be a Gibson heavy episode. There are really a lot of vintage and incredible and interesting vintage Gibson guitars. We're going to start with small body acoustics. And this is the first one that popped out at me when I saw it here. It says it's a Gibson HG. That's not a model name that I see a lot here. We had to move because I invaded Bob's desk over there. And Colin is not here, so we can use his desk. Look at this. This is a HG from 1934. Check this out. So a small body LOO sized guitar. It is a 12 fret. So why do we call it an HG? HG standing for Hawaiian guitar. So this was meant to be played with a slide, maybe like a dobro. So it is a LOO. It has a 12 fret because during this time I think the LOOs were 14 fret then, and it has some heavier bracing on the inside to account for the extra like a string tension when raising the strings and using it as a slide guitar. Of course, with a guitar from 1934, it has its playing marks. You see them on the top here, although it is looking relatively clean. Here on the back there is a sort of a peculiar mark. I don't know what caused this. But what it may be nice to do is there's also a 1933 LOO, and it might be nice to compare the two so we can see what the difference is between like a heavier braced small body acoustic and a lighter braced LOO size guitar. So let's grab that one as well. Another non-original case. So from 1933, an LOO, 1 year older than the HG. A really small sunburst, and this is typical for this period. So it's almost completely black, and then there's a tiny bit of light here in the center. We see a bound top only. There are a few examples in this year with a bound back as well, but this is typical that you see only the binding on the top of the guitar. And at the time, this was one of the more like entry-level guitar. It was priced at $27.50. All right, so we're going to do a comparison. We'll start with the LOO. And I'll try to play like the same thing so we can compare it. I can definitely feel a difference between the two. When playing, this one does feel a little stiffer, but then the bass feels deeper, to my ears at least. Out of the two, I enjoyed this one a tiny bit more, although this was a really great sounding LOO. This one is my favorite right now. So maybe that's the difference in sound that you can hear. We have like a 12 fret compared to a 14 fret, lighter bracing compared to heavier bracing on the HG. Let's maybe throw in one more guitar in the mix. See if we can find another small body Gibson style guitar. This might be nice. Let's check it out. It's an Atkin. Ooh, cool. So this is a smaller body. When you like enlarge this, then you see a J45. So this is a shrunk down version of a J45. And Atkin called this the 19. I think this was a collaboration between Alistair Atkin and Rudy, our Rudy from the Fellowship. So this was meant to be a suitable J45 style guitar for the female player, for the female singer-songwriter especially. And look at this. like a really faded sort of wine red. I think it looks really cool. And this one also has an Adirondack top on here, which is also special for a Gibson style guitar. So this is such a great playing and sounding guitar. I like this a lot. It has a top end that is maybe a little bit more modern to my ears. This also gets tamed throughout the years when playing, but especially compared to like the HG, this one is less woody and dry. That one had all those years to dry out. So for this new Rouse, I think for me it's between the 19 and the HG. I think the story of the HG is a little bit more special. You guys like vintage guitars as well, so maybe for the poll that is also a nice choice to have. We're going with the HG from 1934, a beautiful L00 size guitar, heavier brace, 12 frets. This is our first choice for this new Rouse. To a round of electrics, maybe non-vintage, because we are going to see a lot more vintage in this episode. A Nick Huber. I really like the Nick Hubers a lot, especially this model, the Kreutzer 2. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Jim Swinselman, if you're watching, this is for you. Kreutzer 2, so a Les Paul style guitar, mahogany body, and then with a humbucker in the bridge and a P90 in the neck, which is already a really cool looking combination and also really versatile in terms of sound. I first fell in love with this model when I saw Dan from That Pedal Show playing a Kreutzer. I think he has like a wine red Kreutzer 2. Such great looking guitars, very simple design as well. These pickups are made by Housel, again, a name that we see more often every time. They're really great sounding pickups. This one is secondhand. I don't think this was relic out of the factory, so these are some playing marks. Secondhand from 2014. Nice grayish sort of flame here on the neck as well. First of this round of the electrics, but there's some ground to cover still. Ooh. Just buy the guitar for these locks alone. Listen to this. Oh, great. Great case. Inside there's a Nacho caster. So this is a Butterscotch 50s recreation of a telly, a Blackguard telly by Nacho Guitars. And Nacho Guitars is one of the most highly regarded luthiers when it comes to faithful recreations of vintage Fender guitars. Of course, there are a lot of builders out there making copies of Fender guitars, which Fender is not too happy about. But a lot of times Nacho Guitars comes out on top as being like the premier builder when it comes to this type of build. Their recreations are like really meticulous, really precise. Check this out, all the relicking. They have a pretty secretive process when it comes to their relicking. And I don't know, like every little detail about this guitar, but they really go into the tiniest detail possible. And one player that is connected to Nacho Guitars is Julian Lage. Love you, Julian. So there are some videos out there of him playing this guitar. When you see a Blackguard like a Butterscotch telly with Julian, most of the time this is a Nacho guitar. And I always thought that this was a true like vintage Fender. So they look really great. I've never seen one in the flesh, so it's really great to have this out in the fellowship. It's not really tuned right now, but you can feel that this is such a lively and vibrant guitar already, acoustically. Then Laura just said there's something here in the case, so This is nice. From your keychain. In Notch we trust. So how does this work? Oh wait. Wow. All the secrets to the Nacho guitar process. Don't know what's in there, but that's for the next owner to find out. But perhaps a Blackguard Tele is Nacho guitar. Then you can also go towards the hollow bodies, and we have an Epiphone, USA made. Recognize the signature, Laura?
Yeah, very cool.
John Lennon. This is a Casino from Epiphone, but made in the USA. And you can see it here, assembled in the USA. This was a limited run that they made of John Lennon Casinos. It was based on his 1965 Casino. And there are two models out there. There's a 1965, which is a Sunburst, and then there's also a 1968, which is this one, a natural one. I believe, but I have to check this again, that this is actually the same guitar. John Lennon had one Casino. At first it had a Sunburst finish, and later he had it completely stripped, and then you see this natural finish. I think this is really the John Lennon look that we're all familiar with. Because it was a 1965 Casino, they also made a limited run of 1965 guitars. So this is one of those 1965 guitars. And this was one of the few times that a company also reached out to Yoko Ono, and this was like a collaboration or association with Yoko Ono as well. And she gave the company access to John Lennon's original guitar. So this is a really faithful recreation of his original Casino. And of course, like with those hollow body Casino 330 guitars, again, not tuned, but you feel it right away when you play it. It really pushes some air, and I like that so much about these hollow body electrics. I think I'm going to choose one of the three. So a Casino, a Nacho or the Krauser. Those could all be like new arrivals options for me by themselves. It's between a Casino and a Nacho for me. They are both connected to players that I hold dear to my heart, John Lennon and Julian Lage as well. But I think it's slightly more special to have the Nacho caster here. So let's see it one more time before we choose it. And I'm thinking we have Rowdy here, who made a reel playing on this Nacho caster through an old Princeton that we have. And I think he really loved this guitar, and he will love playing it again for the demo. So we're going with the, what was it, 23 Butterscotch Blonde Blackguard Tele by Nacho Guitars. It's time to do some Martin guitars, especially style 18. So we have a Gibson, an HG already, a Fender style guitar. Now we're moving over to Martin. There are a few D18s that I wanted to open. Let's see if I can find them. Yes. I'll grab them all first, and then we'll do like a review. Let's start with the most expensive one of the bunch. This is a 1945 D18. How cool is that? And oh, really nice weight. Laura, feel this?
Whoa.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So, still a wartime D18. Of course, mahogany back and sides. A spruce top. In 1945, there was already a gradual change towards Sitka tops. And especially on the D18s, we see this change a little bit earlier. But this is an Adirondack top. Always pretty difficult to tell. But it has a quite nice and wide grain. So I don't know, like we have to check the serial number, or maybe Colin already did, but that might mean that this is a early 1945 D18. There were a few parts on the Martin guitars that they experimented with during the war time, because there were a lot of parts that needed to go to the war efforts. One of the things that we see here, there are no bushings here on the tuners. Then there should be an ebony reinforcement in the neck. Sometimes we see rosewood binding, but this is still tortoise, so it really depends on every guitar, like what kind of changes you see. But a wonderful played-in guitar, a lot of scars, but nothing really structural here. There are a few repaired cracks here and there. I'm very sure that this had a neck reset as well, a refret as well, but all like normal things that you need. We're going to do a shootout a little bit later, but first we're going to open all the cases. This is another one from, this is a few years later, 1952. Check this out, a 1952. Let's hold it up next to the 1945. So here they are, next to each other. 45, 52, as you can see here on the tuners. The metal is back. This one already has a K&K Trinity installed. You can see the little microphone there. Mahogany back and sides, a spruce top, and this time we have moved over to Sitka spruce on the top. Maybe you can spot a little difference when you compare the two tops here. I don't know if you can get it on camera, Laura, but can you help open the cases for me? And then the last one, a 60s D18, 1967. A few repairs that you can see right away. You see two cracks that have been repaired here on the back. You see them on the side here as well. Don't know if this is a replacement bridge or that it has been re-glued, but I see some work here on the top. If this is original, then this is still Brazilian rosewood, of course, until 1969. So on all these where you find rosewood, it is still Brazilian rosewood. We're going to do a shootout. I'm going to play a similar thing again, and then you can hear all the guitars in quick succession. Alright, there was the shootout of the D18s. Please, if you've watched this until here, then please leave a comment right now which is your favorite of the three before I give my opinion. Alright, here we go. The 1952 was my favorite sounding guitar. I think the 1967 was my favorite playing guitar. This one maybe is not really for me. I can feel and hear the potential in the 1945, and maybe a player like Rowdy, who's also a great bluegrass player with quite a heavy touch. I think this is a great guitar for him because you can feel that it has a lot of headroom as well. Also maybe the Adirondack then adds that headroom to this guitar. But I like a little bit more of compression. I have a softer touch when playing, and the 1952 just sounded really sweet to my ears. So the new arrivals, I think it has to be like the best sounding guitar. So in my personal opinion, this 1952 is our third choice. Huge shout out, of course, to these two beauties. If you are interested in one of these guitars, then please reach out. We're always open to help you out and answer your questions. And if you are close to our store in Dedersvaart, then you can come by and try out these guitars and maybe do a shootout of your own. The 1952 is our third choice for this new arrivals. Our fourth and final round will be quite a quick fire round because we still have a lot of ground to cover. There are so many beautiful guitars here that I want to show you. So we won't go into too much detail for every guitar. It will be sort of a ratatouille of guitars. Ratatouille. for the Dutch people. Let's check it out. All right. This is another Gibson. Already said, Gibson Heavy this week. This is a Freddie King ES345. Wow, nice, really nice cherry. This is a limited run of 200. This is number 56 out of 200, a limited edition from 2016, based on his original ES345. Nice and clean condition. I don't think this has seen many stages over the years. Then another acoustic, another Hill Country series guitar from Collings out of Austin, Texas. An OM2A HC Hill Country. Wow, man, this is so stylish and elegant. Beautiful set of rosewood. So like an orchestra model 28 style. Hill Country is the area close to Austin where Collings is also based. I've been there now 2 months ago and it's such a beautiful area as well. And the guitars really fit that name. Let's maybe do a really quick check. And it is tuned. Yeah. Oh my God. That's what you get. Collings craftsmanship, always tuned. So they changed their bracing pattern on the inside so that this is different than the other Collings models that they offer. And you feel that it has such a, it feels bouncy, beautiful low end. Might also be a nice new arrivals, but like we said, quick fire round. We're doing a quick fire round, Koen, so we don't have a lot of time with every guitar, but you can do this one.
All right. I don't even think I've seen it yet. Ooh la 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 la, but that's a nice one.
What are we looking at?
This is a J50, later one. 57.
57.
Yeah. It's a large pickguard, adjustable bridge. Looks fantastic. Oh, check the back and sides here. You can see that the fade, the sun always shined on the top and on the sides. Yeah. If you see the color difference, so there's still a lot of cherry here on the back, where here it's completely faded out.
Another K&K Trinity installed here. Let's do another quick check. Is it tuned?
Almost.
A lovely sounding J50, J45 style guitar. Man, there's something about these adjustable bridges, the plastic bridges. It adds something to the sound which I really enjoy. It is maybe a sound like something that became more famous in the lo-fi folk and indie sort of music scene. But I love the sound of it. It is a tiny bit muted, but like just now I wanted to play some Elliott Smith and it really fits that style of playing. If you're looking for a really loud and broad sounding guitar, then the adjustable bridges are maybe not something for your taste, but I really love them. This is my favorite of this round. This is a guitar that's not eligible for the new arrivals, but we wanted to show it anyway. This won't be available in our store. This was a custom order that Santa Cruz made for a customer of ours. And let's check it out together. You can read this. An H13 custom ancient X45 style Awabi vine. Are you ready? Whoa. Wow. Check this out. Wow. Incredible craftsmanship. Man. And this is what I love, you know, this is what Santa Cruz loves to do as well. Like interesting and special pieces of wood. Also like when you get a spot here, but only on the right side. This makes a guitar so much more interesting than having everything be like exactly like symmetrical and perfect. I love that a lot about Santa Cruz's way of doing things. Man, this flame maple binding on the top, on the back here. The fingerboard as well. Wow. Incredible. So if you have an idea for your own kind of custom Santa Cruz or other brand, then you can reach out to us, and we really want to help you out by finding like the exact specifications that suit your needs. And you know, everything is possible, and you can see that right here. We have to hurry up. This is our final guitar we're going to open. Another vintage Gibson, yet another one. And not just any vintage Gibson, this is a Les Paul custom. And that's not a mistake, this is a Les Paul, because this is a 1961 Les Paul, it says here as well. And in 1961 they changed, of course, to the model that we now know as the SG, the solid guitar, because the Les Paul was not like a big hit when it came out, so they wanted to change it up. I don't think this change was something that people really liked, and later they went back, of course, to having an SG and also having the Les Paul model again. We have the sideways vibrola on here, a vintage white, 3 humbuckers. That is pretty cool. Okay, we have to choose. The J50 was my favorite. This is a really cool guitar.
J50, I think.
J50, that was my thinking as well. Fourth choice is the J50 that we played. Alright, that marks the end of this episode of New Arrivals, a vintage Gibson heavy episode. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed the guitars that we've chosen. Like I said at the beginning, you can leave a comment down below voting for your favorite of the week, or you can also vote in the poll that's in our community side of our YouTube page. Let's do a quick run through. We started out with the HG, like the L00 sized Hawaiian guitar from Gibson, 1934. We had the Nacho Butterscotch blonde telly, Blackguard telly. We had the D18 from 1952, and then we ended the show with the 1957 J50. I think this has been a really great episode of New Arrivals, some incredible guitars. I hope you really enjoyed it. I think that's it for this week, and we hope to see you in next week's video. Bye!